Okay guys, so this is going to be a quick video covering the Rabies Druid. Now I do think that the devs, in some regards, were kind of approaching making changes to the character. Like, they identified where it kind of lacked a little bit. I do think they didn't quite go as far as what they should have. So I have tried a pure poison damage setup, and then I've tried this hybrid setup with Fury. The hybrid setup is better, although they have kind of messed around with the IS breakpoints in shapeshifting form. They now match when you're in Druid form, which you can't attack as fast as when you're a Druid, so it really does nerf shapeshifters. That's like a whole other video. This is LOD attack speed using Grief and Phase Blade. So I'll compare this to the Legacy mode in Diablo 2 Resurrected. This is with the Grizz Caddy. So this is what made a Fire Claw really strong, is that you could have like 12k fire damage, but then you were striking really quickly. This is Legacy graphics with the exact same weapon, the same 115% increase attack speed, and that's the difference. So whatever they changed, and you can only hit the max breakpoints that you can get in your Druid form instead of shapeshifting form, whatever change that made there, that just completely nerfs shapeshifting, and it applies across the board to other builds like the Werewolf Fury Druid, using something like an Ethone Tomb Reaver. Sorry, Ethone. Using an Ethereal Tomb Reaver with Zod and 2 Ruby Jewels of Fervor, you could hit 4 frames. Breath of the Dying was 5 frames. Ribcracker was 5 frames. Now I think someone said you can only get up to 8 frames or something like that. So they slowed them all down. So like, they just effectively made the shapeshifting tree worse. I might kind of post edit and show what it used to be like in LOD compared to what it is now currently in PTR. There's chances that things will be changed, so I just want to echo that this is just PTR, so things will be adjusted, but that definitely needs to be taken into consideration, period, for the shapeshifter. But for the Rabies Druid, this setup I'm not sure with Grief because of the hidden damage, but I would assume somewhere between like 10 to 12k Fury damage, and then I have 35 poison damage over 20 seconds. Now that's over 20 seconds, so it's not very powerful, but I am using a Plague Mercenary. This is a hero-edited Plague on single player. The stats are all the same though, so when that lower res does go off, which it doesn't go off too often, it does reduce that duration, so I think it... Does anybody know in chat offhand how much the negative 53 res would reduce the duration? It does help, but the problem is it doesn't go off very often, so... I think an easy way to address making this build a little bit better would be to adjust the damage over time. Like if you maybe halved the damage over 9 seconds, I think it would be a little bit better. It would maybe tailor towards builds of using like Bramble and Poison Faceted shields, but it's just... Current state is just not enough damage. Unless like their goal is to have it be like a supplement to Fury, but I think Feral Rage is just a better supplement to Fury. That's just me. But for the attributes, so this is a hero-edited Druid, but I just have 156 in a Strength, so enough to equip my gear. Enough Dexterity to use Grief and a Phase Blade, and then Vitality, I put everything else into, so 457. For the skill tree, I put 20 hard points into Rabies, and then 20 hard points into Poison Creeper. So Poison Creeper synergizes Rabies damage. It does... I believe they switched it from 18 to 20%, so... I think, in addition to reducing the duration, if they buffed up the damage... I don't know, maybe made it a 25 or 6 or something. I don't know. I think it needs more damage. But I put 20 hard points into both of those skills, and then 20 into Fury, 20 into Lycanthropy, and then I put the rest into Werewolf. And I did pump a bunch of points into Heart of Wolverine as well. Again, trying to take that approach of like hybrid, so physical and supplementing with Rabies. For the gear, I'm using... Oh, that's offhand. For the gear, main hand, I'm using Grief for raw damage and the negative poison res on the weapon. I've messed around with Plague and Phase Blades. It's just, you don't have enough poison damage, so there's no point of using Plague. Paired that with Phoenix, extra ED, and the Redemption Aura. And the Firestorm doesn't interrupt Fury in a Werewolf, so I think it's a good combination. Jalal's with the Poison Facet, Fortitude. This is Mara's. You could go High Lords if you wanted more physical damage. Mara's is extra Rabies damage. Either one works. Arachnid's Mesh, Dual Leech Ring, Ravenfrost, Trang's Gloves to boost poison, and then Gore Riders. You could use Laying of Hands if you wanted even more physical damage, or String of Ears, whatever. They're both options. CTA and Spirit, and then I have all shapeshifting plus life skillers. So this is a very, very powerful character. And I have a Annie and a torch, but that's what I'm trying to demonstrate with this build. With like near perfect gear, you'll see that the clear speed on players 1 difficulty is pretty pretty underwhelming, I think. This is like near perfect gear, Grief, Phoenix, multiple high runes, and I just think that clear speed is pretty bad. So you gotta strike once or twice with Rabies. I let it spread, and I use Grief. Just Fury everything. I should say that I don't think that I'm not able to not clear stuff. Like, I have tons of life, a little bit of AoE with Rabies. I just feel like a character that has the amount of high runes that I'm using should be able to do better than this. And like I mentioned, I did try all Poison Facet Shields, Poison Facet Jalals, and it just severely underperforms in my opinion. I guess the one upside is you get AoE as Rabies spreads. The Merc never procs Plague. Like, I would probably use an Act 2 Mercenary, and Might would maybe be a little bit better optimized, but yeah, that's a good point, Tour Sauce. Maybe even, like, making the AI a little bit more aggressive. I just think probably a Might or a Mercenary or Holy Freeze or something for crowd control might actually be better. Because I don't think Plague, like, the low resistance just never goes off. Like, I don't know, you could adjust it, maybe make it chance to cast some striking. Yes, Mercenary is fired. We'll see what it's like. But this is only players 1 difficulty for multiple high runes and really good inventory. I don't really have much Crushing Blow with this setup. I think the key word here is I just think Rabies is a bit underperforming. And I think maybe if they just adjusted the damage synergies a little bit and possibly the duration over time. Like, having that duration in half, I think, would maybe be a step in the right direction. But this is P1. Guys, the Rabies Druid. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys think I missed anything or I built the character wrong. Again, I have tried Poison Faceted Shields in Bramble, going for more poison damage. It was up to 50,000 damage. I think it was 60,000 damage over 20 seconds. It's just... this was faster, so I don't know. Just let me know if you would tweak the gear. If you could throw a like on it, that'd be awesome, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace out.